So in today's video, we are highlighting what deadbeat dads look like. This is a global phenomenon, but it can be very unique to my culture as well. Where I come from, Ghanaian African community, dear African men, just providing your inconsistent presence, your lack of presence, your withdrawal, your air quote money, a flat rate fee, or child support doesn't necessarily mean that you're being a good parent. There are a lot of women and children going through re-traumatizing experiences on a daily basis because of choices like this that men like that make. Let's talk about it. Leave me a comment, share, follow me for more videos like this. Gina Tracy, your favorite Psych practitioner.
One of the main reasons that a narcissist might not support their kids after a split up is because they want to punish the mom. The kids are a burden. They want to avoid responsibility. They don't think they have to. They think that's your job. The truth is, it's not always one reason. It's usually a combination. But to me, the one that I see the most common is to punish mom. Now, even in the cases where he left you, you're still being punished because you made him leave, right? You were holding him accountable. You were asking him to be better, to treat you better. The audacity of you. So the kids are now part of that. They're your responsibility. Something that's really true of people who are narcissistic or actual narcissists is they see the people around them as extensions of themselves. So the kids are not human beings fully autonomous that are a part of them. They are an extension of them. The sad reality is, if he can't control mom anymore, the kids are just collateral damage. He's not interested in the kids anymore. But he will definitely be interested in playing the victim when it comes to the kids, claiming that mom's withholding and mom won't let him see the kids. And half the time, these guys aren't even actively trying to see their kids. Now, before anybody gets their little panties in a bunch, we're talking about abusive, narcissistic dads, not all dads. So calm down. Narcissists also have a really poor sense of emotional connection with their loved ones, like their children. So they don't actually feel connected. That means that if there's no direct benefit, if there's no validation, if there's no real reason for them to be a parent, why would they do it, right? That's what the mom is for. They don't have to do it. That's your job. In their mind, the people around them are there to serve them. So that in a narcissist's mind, if his children are not benefiting him directly, giving him supply and adoration and, oh my God, my dad's amazing, they're not interested in that. Now, one thing that I think is super wild about these men is that they wanted these kids. They asked for these kids. They wanted these families. They pitched the dream of the family. And then as soon as mom didn't want to be in the relationship anymore, whether that was through breaking up with him or holding him accountable and sort of, in the narcissist's mind, forcing him to break up with her, she is now going to be punished, but those children are also going to be punished. He has no need for this family anymore because it doesn't give him that status of, I'm a good family man anymore. Now he gets to play the victim. Now he gets to blame mom for all of his own failures. Narcissists really aren't that hard to understand once you realize that some of their biggest motivations is avoiding shame, looking amazing to other people, looking like such a good person to other people, but not actually wanting to do the work to be a good person. And they want control. They want power. Once you understand these are their motivations, a lot of the why do they whatever starts to really make sense.
So let's talk about it on fathers who are literally deadbeat, absent, the dark psychology of it. Why do some fathers decide to be absent in the lives of their children? Physically, emotionally. They have phones, but they don't call. They have phones, but they don't check in on the children. And then before you go on to say, why did you get with a person like that who would be such a dad to your children? The news is many of them don't present like that. The beginning stages, a lot of time they don't present like that even before you have children with them. It's a real phenomenon that when their egos are bruised or they feel like they are disrespected by the mother of their children or their boundaries set for them, a lot of people with high conflict personality type, and there's such a thing, or narcissistic personality type. I can say narcissism is on a spectrum, but when you're at the high end of the spectrum, you hate accountability, lack empathy. It's all about grandiosity. It's all about you, selfishness, self-centeredness. If the children are not minions, workers for them, which is fine. As a parent, you should need your children to do this and that and the third. But this type of phenomenon is a whole different level. That's entitlement. And when they can't really get that because they're setting boundaries at that being said, because things just don't roll just because you just popped out and you're a dad, so everybody should just roll the red carpet for you. You gotta be there for them emotionally, physically, psychologically, financially, with capital financially. But many of them choose not to. Like I said, the children these days have phones, iPads. There are a lot of dads out there, sadly, who will not even check in by text or call because in their minds, one, the children are not being a boost of ego for them. They're not able to access them whenever, however they want to, and prowl them all over social or with to their friends, to the bros, and say, "Oh, look at my children! They are doing so amazing." Da, 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 da. But this person barely even is consistently showing up the way a parent is supposed to show up for the children. There's a lack of emotional connectivity. They don't even desire to have emotional connectivity with these children because they've been conditioned to think that their way or the highway is the only way. They seek to weaponize the children as a means to really control, to hurt, to exert their dominance in ways through withdrawing financially. Because of their fragile egos, if you set boundaries as a mother of the children, set boundaries with them, because some of these men want to just pop out and pop up to go against the visitation, especially if you're separated or divorced. They just want to show up when they feel like it. But parenting is not showing up when you feel like it. Parenting is when you show up even when it's inconvenient for them. They sometimes feel like, in many cases, these children are like messing up their schedules. So they feel like, when I have a little time in my schedule, I show up. Or they have a time when the agreement is set, they'll choose to not show up, and they have children who are literally being traumatized and re-traumatized because grown-ass men choose to behave in this way. This topic really hits home because tell me how it makes sense for you as a parent who laid down with a woman to make children who are vulnerable, who are innocent bystanders, who are created because you chose to, especially if someone you lay down with in a marriage situation, even if it's not a marriage situation, it still doesn't matter. You created that being. And then you choose to turn around and use that being as a way to pay back and punish the mother of the children because they won't let you just do whatever you want, walk all over her, talk anyhow you want, show up when you feel like at your convenience. And you're supposed to just be like, "Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, just your presence is so good enough." Yes, we want these fathers to be active, but there's come to a point where it has to be like, we don't need you because with your presence comes chaos. Comes like it's fall and the leaves are just being blown everywhere. You have to do the whole work of rebuilding. So they really don't have the desire to do anything for the children. They abandon the children, like I mentioned. They blame everything on the mother of the children. Or sometimes there's a reverse phenomenon for this, but majority of the time, the perpetrators of these behaviors are the men. Yes, there are some women who might be, deadbeat moms, disengaged mom, uninvolved mom. Being a parent is hard, especially in these days with social media, everything. But why would you want to make it even harder to raise those children? Why won't you want the desire to make the lives of those children a little better or easier than what you experienced, what your parents experienced? Why won't you want to break the generational trauma wagon. And it's all about ego, it's all about control, it's all about dominance. And if you can't exert those powers thereof, then you're like, cut off. I'm not gonna check in, I'm not gonna call, I'm not gonna support them financially. Raising children goes beyond cutting out a flat fee monthly. And some of them don't even be consistent. Parenting goes beyond that. And I don't help me understand how some of those fathers don't understand that checking in, showing up for your children, activities, paying the fees for the activities, planning for college, paying expenses for their dormitories, for their board, if they're going to boarding school, being there, being consistent, desiring to have these children go to the best schools because you are that kind of father, being proud father, but rather have the prowess of wanting to punish.
Some narcissists will financially or emotionally abandon their children, and here's 5 ways that they'll justify it. Do narcissists even love their children? I'm going to cover that at the end of the video. Number 1, self-victimization. A narcissist will convince themselves that they're the victim in this situation. They feel that they've been treated so unfairly by you or even the children that it justifies their emotional or financial abandonment. Number 2, self-importance. This is the superiority, the God complex. A narcissist believes that their own needs, their own desires are more important than their children. This is how some narcissists can afford vacations, but not child support. Number 3, blame shifting. This situation is your fault. It's your responsibility to support the children, not theirs. Number 4, distortion of reality. A narcissist will convince themselves that they're doing the right thing or that they have no other choice. They're not living in actual reality. They might think that they're teaching their kids about self-reliance or that their kids aren't affected by their inconsistency or absence. And lastly, number 5, denial. They'll just tell people that they didn't abandon their children. They'll tell people that they are paying child support. They just won't acknowledge that they're causing their children any harm or pain. So how can a person do this if they love their children? They wouldn't. To a narcissist, love is conditional. Love is typically only given based on the condition that the child is able to meet the narcissist's needs. They view their children, just like their partners, as an extension of them. The children are there to serve them and their needs. And it's commonly known that narcissists lack empathy. This means they really struggle to empathize with their children's feelings or to show actual genuine love. They don't know how to express love in a consistent and unconditional way. Specific to the topic of financial abandonment, a narcissist will often not provide financial support for their children, thinking that they're actually just punishing the other parent. In that case, the children are just a tool for manipulation. They're weaponizing their own children to harm their ex. Does that sound like love to you?
Okay, so this is to the ladies. I be seeing a lot of posts where women in general, you be upset because a man will leave his kids behind and go and take care of another man's kids. But understand that everything on the outside isn't always what it is on the inside. Now, we're talking about narcissistic people. A narcissist will leave his own kids behind and go move into the house with another woman who have children. But please understand, he isn't taking care of the next woman's kids. He's actually using this woman because she do have kids. See, kids bring benefits, and narcissists love the benefits that come with women and children. We're talking about male narcissists, okay? Female narcissists, that's a whole nother story. But just because this man left his kids, it does not mean he is actually being the man that this woman and her children need. A narcissist will never be a parent to his own kids and to anybody else's kids. In fact, the only thing that he's going to be is a friend to her children. He's going to blend in with her kids because in reality, he's a kid stuck in a grown man's body. So he's looking for a mother figure in this woman who is actually looking for love in a grown man who entered into her life, portraying to be a man with his stuff together. Okay, so again, remember, everything on the outside isn't always what's going on the inside. You just have a lot of women who isn't willing to tell their business, and they love to play along with the whole media to try to make things appear as though it's something that it isn't. And the narcissists love that.
I don't respect a man that makes excuses not to take care of his children. It was easy to sleep with their mama, right? But it's hard for her to walk around pregnant every day. Some of these women pregnant and they working, knowing anytime they can have a problem. But that's a mother's sacrifice for her baby. So before that baby come, that baby can have everything they want because mama's still working. But the dad ain't got to walk around with no pain. He all good, y'all. He good. But when she need help, that's going to tell what kind of man he going to be and what kind of father he going to be. If he can't help you before the baby get him, you sure enough ain't getting no help after the baby get him because he already showing the true color before the baby comes. Especially when you need help getting up, need help putting your shoes on, women feet be swelling when you crave certain things. If he can't go out there and get it for you, if he making an excuse, he gonna make an excuse to take care of the baby when he get him, feeding the baby, changing the diaper, buying this or buying that. That's why you don't get pregnant by everybody. Make sure you know that person 100% before you open your legs. Get married first before you do anything. I'ma just keep it real with you. Don't open your legs, that ain't your husband. Close your legs, that ain't your husband. If you learn that, ladies, you won't walk around with a bunch of deadbeats. Because a man that love you, he gonna love you. Trust me. If a man spending his dollars and his time on you each day to smile with you, he loves you. You can't find nobody real because you doubt everybody. You can't doubt every man. There's the right man, there's the wrong man. There's the man that's fake. The one that acts real, does something for a little while, then he stops. So you gotta know which one is real, fake, or pretending. So ladies, you open your legs, you might get pregnant or not. Wearing a condom is not 100% sure that you will not get pregnant, that you will not catch an STD. Some of these men put holes in the condom. They slip it off. You feeling so good, you don't even notice if it's off. They free game. Lady, take notes. This real.
So this person is asking, why do some narcissists and toxic people abandon their kids? And of course, if you're new here, I'm a narcissist. Actually, I have narcissistic personality disorder. So there are a few different reasons why some narcissists and toxic people will abandon their kids. Starting with, they just lose control over the significant other, over the other parent. They can no longer use those kids as leverage to control the other parent. So it's bye-bye. You no longer serve a purpose. Sometimes they discard the kids because the kids become an inconvenience to them in their schedule. I can't do this, I can't do that because I have to parent. I have to be here for these kids and things like that. So bye-bye kids. Another reason they discard the kids is because the kids grow up and understand what the narcissist and who the narcissist is. Like they know the manipulation on the kids no longer works. So it's bye-bye kids because you know who I am now. The other reason they would discard the kids is simply to punish the other parent. Oh, I can't control you? Bye-bye kids. Another reason, and this might suck y'all, but they don't care about the kids. A lot of narcissistic people see kids as reflections of them. And if they don't reflect back good things, it's bye-bye.
We're talking about this human being is half yours and half someone else's. How are you so comfortable upping and leaving like it's just a toy or an iPad that you just left back home?
That's not crazy. That's not, like, you have no sense of human decency to want to be there for your kid. Right?
No matter what you're going through with your partner, this human is still half yours. So how is it so easy to just up and go?
Make it make sense, right? So I'm literally baffled, right? So there's those men that actually stay in the relationship, go through it, work through the postpartum, because, you know, women's hormones are absolutely crazy during this time. Mm-hmm. All women will say that it's not peace and sunshine. I literally just saw another famous TikTok couple talking about how hard it is postpartum, and this is their second baby, and their first baby was so young. And she was like, I just feel like the mother's so overlooked. Like, everybody cares about the baby, but the mother's just so overlooked.
Yeah, and some girl I saw on Facebook too committed suicide because she was left with 2 little kids by herself and she couldn't handle it.
And it's like, where's the father to step in and play his part, right? Because children need both parents, right?
Absolutely.
So listen, in the last few months, I've been on the dating apps and been meeting some wonderful people on the dating apps. And I met 3 women in my age range, educated, good jobs, got kids, teenagers. I think the youngest one was maybe around 10. Recently divorced. All 3 of them recently divorced. And all 3 of them told me that their ex-husband is not in their kid's life. Their ex-husband basically abandoned the kids. Like basically the ex-husband, all 3 ex-husbands was like, fuck them kids. And I also have a homegirl who relative is going through a nasty divorce and she has teenagers. And same thing, the husband was like, fuck them kids, has no relationship with the kids after the divorce. I'm like, yo, that's crazy, man. That befuddles me. And I don't want to generalize everybody. I'm sure there's a lot of men out there who go through a divorce and still take care of their kids or in their kids' life, which it should be. But this is weird that I know four people, recent divorce in the last 2 or 3 years, teenagers, and all four husbands was like, F them kids, basically. And, you know, basically abandoned the kids. This is, one husband, I think, moved across the country, like moved far away from the kids. Is this a trend? Is this something? Let me know in the comments. Is this something that you heard that's been going on? Because this befuddles me. It's wild that, you know, these husbands, like, y'all raised these kids. Y'all, they was babies. You raised them. Now they teenagers. And listen, I understand divorces, you know, are nasty and they tough, but to go through a divorce and come out and basically abandon your grown kids, like, you don't even have to deal with the mother, your ex, anymore. These are grown kids. They have their own phone. You can communicate with them. You don't need to go. If things are nasty between you and the ex, you don't need to go through them. These are grown kids. So yeah, it befuddles me that, you know, this is going on. A lot of this is going on. Salute to the women who are, you know, holding it down. You know, I heard her talking to these women. I heard a lot of pain, but I heard a lot of, you know, like, hey, this is just something, you know, me and my kids gonna have to deal with. And and all four of the women are being solid and, you know, taking care of their babies and, you know, stand up women. That's just sad, man. So let me know in the comments, is this something that you know is common? Because that's nasty work.
People say women are crazy. I say they're crazed. What did you do? I don't spend time with any man that doesn't attempt to spend time with their children. I don't trust you. If you don't look after your child, I don't trust you for nothing. You can't be around me because you'll be so uncomfortable. But I also have empathy for men who have consciously tried and have run out of steam and they're taking a second. I got you. I'm here. You can come and talk to me about it. But my advice to every man, and some men hate this, but it's your responsibility to build a relationship with that estranged partner. Even if they're manipulating, lying, scandal, plotting against you, you have to find a way to find middle ground. There is always one. Because whatever you promised and you undid and it didn't work, 100% is the root cause of it. This is why men have to be so conscious of their word. If you say, I'm going to love you, look after you, I'm doing all the things, and then the time happens and you're talking about abandonment, I'm not sure, I don't want to do this, you're stressing me out. It's like, why? Why are you stressing out? And sometimes men have genuine stories of challenge. Yeah. But for me, your whole life needs to flip in terms of how do you create capacity to deal with the ball and find a way to get closeness to your children, because the way that they need you, you don't even know. And in that gap, we create another generation of psychosis, disconnected families, women that are overburdened, men who are dying young. By the way, this is our self-service. We're not doing it as a moral good for women and children. It's for us. We die younger. We die alone. We end up in homes without anybody coming to visit us. We don't have friends in our 50s and our 60s. We suffer from loneliness. Suicide, mental health is out of this world. It's for us. Our own self-interest. So yes, all the noble things, messages to women, and we're here and we're going to try to do, but actually we're losing. Women are sitting there 70 years old, surrounded by family, kicking up their feet in the home that we left because we died at 55 from heart failure and blood pressure. We have to make those adjustments. So this noble idea of I'm going to get you a house by working myself to death is a dead idea. Where are all the grandfathers? How many grandfathers are? I don't have none. I don't know. If people have grandfathers, share yours with mine, because I want 70-year-old man wisdom now to be around my people. There's grandmothers up the yin yang, bro. They're everywhere, vibing and up the dancing in their socks. We're like, where are we?
It's true. You see, men who abandons their children for whatever reason, I said whatever reason, are disgrace to manhood. I know men would not like this, but it is a reality of life. There is no justification to a man who abandons his own children, for a woman to care for alone. Whatever it is that happens between you and your wife should be between you and your wife. Punish your wife for whatever she has done. Don't punish innocent children for the offenses of your wife. You are only trying to seek for excuses, leaving those children alone. You don't care for them. You don't care for them. You don't check on them. So men would abandon their children at a very tender age and would never check back on them till they are grown up. Listen, karma is coming for you. You can never do that and go scot-free. You are only destroying your future by yourself. So men would even abandon their own children and go and be taking responsibility of the children of another woman. Hello? How does that sound to you? If your wife has offended you, if you need to divorce or call for break or separation, let it be between you and your wife. As long as you accept the paternity of those children, they must not suffer because your wife has offended you. They must not suffer because you want to be polygamous. They must not suffer because you want to be wayward or promiscuous. They must not suffer for any reason. You owe the right to take care of your children till they are independent. You don't have to abandon your children. Men will do that. Go and check them. Their later days are always worse. You need a child, to come to you at the old age, then you don't see. You are only digging an early grave for yourself by doing that. Please go and reconcile with your children. I'm not saying reconcile with your wife. If you choose to do that, it's fine. If you choose not to do that, it's okay. But with those innocent children that you've made to suffer, it's not too late for you to go and reconcile. Otherwise, you'll have yourself to be blamed in future. I hope this helps somebody. I'm SEO Keywords, your relationship therapist.